Hello, welcome. This is the Nisha Jackson Show. My name is Rusty Humphries. That there is Nisha Jackson. And we sure do appreciate you being here. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button right away so you don't forget. Also the notification. That's that little bell right next to it. Or if you're listening, share, and all those good things. All right. I know that's a shock, but Nisha, you're drinking coffee. That's a big surprise.
No big surprise. I'm very open about my vice, my caffeine vice. I've been drinking coffee since I was 11.
No way. 11?
I'm not kidding. No, my father told me at age 11 that if I was going to drink coffee, because I really wanted to be like my dad.
Okay.
So he said, you can drink coffee, sweetie, but you have to drink it black. You can't put anything in it. So I learned how to drink coffee black, and
you still do.
Drinking it.
Okay.
It's still my favorite vice. Well, I have a few others, but we're not going to mention those today.
Well, last time we were talking, it was you were with the horse, and it was smoky, and it was pretty bad in Southern Oregon where you live. How is it now?
Right. It's still pretty bad. It's very smoky. There's just a lot of people in so much distress, Rusty. I love how the community has come together to bring supplies and clothing and cleaning products and furniture and things for people to try to get back on their feet again. But most people can't even go back to find out how much of their home has burned. Some people know for a fact just from video coverage that there's nothing left. Some people aren't sure what's left. So, and the stories coming out of this is so sad. It's so heartbreaking. Some people lost their home and their business, because many business buildings, hundreds of business buildings burned down too. So it's really a hard time here. And it's, when it's really dark outside, I can't imagine living somewhere that's dark all the time, because it's very depressing being in the dark. You could tell the sun's out there and it would be beautiful weather if we didn't have the smoke, but that's making it worse. It's just, there's just so much going on just in the community, but it's still very smoky here. So, and the fires still are not contained, and that's, causing a lot of stress still.
Well, the good news that your family's okay, I hope.
Yes.
Good.
Yes. We were, my daughter was evacuated. The fire came really close to her house, but thank goodness not too close.
Oh, wow.
So, but we're just trying to, as a community, support people as much as possible and try to help people get back on their feet again.
Awesome. Well, that's kind of what this show is all about, not just about fires, but you're always trying to help people. And today is no different. What is on your mind today? How do you want to help folks today?
Yes. Well, one question that keeps coming up in our office, and it certainly is not so much related to the tragedies that are going on in our world right now, although there is a connection. Because, as we've talked about in the past, how important our digestive process is and how important keeping our liver healthy is. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to sort of start the show off by creating this picture. And the picture is imagining the worst traffic jam you've ever been in. Okay. Horns honking, no way to get around, every exit blocked, cars everywhere. And then all of a sudden you slowly inch upon an area that has a lot of, in the traffic jam, you inch along an area that has bathrooms and restaurants.
Okay.
And women, I'm going to talk about women today, but it is very applicable to men. Women jump out of their cars and they run into the bathrooms and start using the bathrooms and start sitting down and having something to eat and making the traffic jam even worse. This is exactly what's happening at mealtime in 80% of women that have fatty liver. Because at mealtime, what happens is 80% of women, by the way, over age 45 have fatty liver. 80%.
Wow.
So what's happening is a traffic jam in their liver. When you eat, all the food goes to your liver. This is very simplified explanation. All the food goes to the liver, and the liver's job is to detoxify anything that it doesn't recognize. So basically anything you breathe in, you eat, you digest, anything that comes into your body, even through your skin. you absorb through your skin. Medication, supplements, anything, everything has to go through the liver. So the liver has a hefty job, right? But if you have a fatty liver, what happens is that the food gets, the food is not detoxified quickly enough, and therefore it's stored, it's like a traffic jam, and so therefore the liver will store it as fat. So this is the explanation why, and I'm going to get into more reasons why, women who have, and men and kids who have fatty liver keep getting fatter.
Oh, okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, so if you don't take care of your fatty liver, when you eat, you're going to be much more likely to store it as fat than the average person who doesn't have fatty liver. So we have to start asking ourselves, A, do I have fatty liver? And B, what can I do about it? Because it does seem like I gain weight easy, especially fat, and it does feel like my body's getting fatter. Like if you can say to yourself, well, I don't think I'm really gaining any weight, but my body looks fat. Like I'm getting fat around my stomach. My arms look like chubby. I'm getting fat behind my butt area. I just look fat. and a lot of women say this, right? Especially as they age. It's like, I don't know what's happening to my body, but I look fat. And fatty liver really, I believe, is at the base of this. And so when you have this issue where you're storing fat much easier because you have this layer of fat around your liver, which happens A, over time, B, with poor lifestyle habits. So you're taking in foods that have really, they don't help your body in any way. We call them man-made foods. So they're made with trans fats, they're processed foods, they're sugars, they're flours, they're artificial ingredients, preservatives, additives, coloring. All of these things have to constantly be filtered through the liver. And pretty soon the liver gets jammed up, like worst traffic jam ever. And then all of a sudden it just can't process fast enough and it just stores it as fat. And fat around the liver. So when that happens, there's one other very important thing I'm going to talk about in a second, why this seems to be happening more now. But when it happens more around the liver, some other things are happening too. One of them is that your body is depleted of glutathione. So when you have fatty liver, it depletes your body of glutathione. And glutathione is one of the world's most powerful antioxidants. So it helps fight free radicals, like the bad stuff, right? It's kind of like our hero. We want glutathione.
Okay.
So if we have less of that, and we also have less of other things like absorption of vitamin D, which helps stabilize our glucose and burn fat, and also the absorption of the nutrients in our gut that we need for helping with fat detoxification. So anyway, the goal really is to A, determine if you have it, and B, figure out how to treat it.
Okay. How do you figure out if you have it or not?
Yes. So there's a very simple way. I heard this years ago from a PhD nutritionist that I actually think he was dead on when he said this. Certainly, you can order laboratory tests to see if you have elevated liver enzymes. I personally wouldn't wait till you have elevated liver enzymes, although lots of people have them. Even young people have them now, which just means that the liver's become sluggish.
Okay.
So, but there's lots of signs of sluggish liver. Some people get problems with fatigue, significant fatigue or exhaustion. Some people get dizzy. Some people have issues with problems with concentration and memory and focus. These can all be just or vitamin deficiencies that are unexplained. Like, well, I'm taking my vitamins. Why aren't my levels normal?
Right.
So there's many other symptoms, but the description that I heard years ago that makes so much sense to me is if you can grab 2 to 3 inches of fat around your stomach, you probably have fatty liver.
Thanks.
So I'm going to say that's the majority of people today.
Okay.
So, and if you don't have fatty liver, you eventually will have fatty liver. So
like everybody's got it coming?
I would say the majority of people, since we have such a huge incidence of obesity, especially fat belly obesity. We call it visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat around your stomach. It's the most dangerous fat on your body.
Okay.
So if you have a big belly, it is the most dangerous fat you can have on your body because it's the most closely related to heart disease. And this is one of the reasons why, because you can't live without your liver.
Right.
And your liver does a very important job, and that's detoxifying toxins so that you can stay healthy and you don't get sick. So it's very, 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 very important that your liver stays healthy. So one other little thing I want to say, and this is really going to throw people for a loop, but glyphosate is a chemical that they use to kill weeds in crops.
Okay.
Well, it just was determined by the University of California, San Diego, that this is one of the number one reasons why people have fatty liver today. That they found out that people who were exposed or had the highest levels of glyphosate in their system were the ones with the worst fatty liver.
Really? So this could be coming from the food that we're eating.
Exactly. And what's awful, Rusty, is when people are trying to eat healthy.
Yeah.
Like my mom eats very healthy, but she has had problems with fatty liver. So, and it kind of begs the question, wait, why are you, if you're eating all these fruits and vegetables and you're so healthy, how could you have fatty liver? How could you have problems with your liver not detoxifying well enough? And this is one of the reasons why it's happening, is that the very chemicals that we're using to kill weeds in crops is causing our liver to be sluggish and fatty. So it's really one of the fastest epidemics. They said that there's been a 500% increase in the last 20 years in fatty liver, and there seems to be a direct correlation with this particular chemical. And I'm sure there are hundreds of other things that are contaminating our body, but this is one of them, and it just is so frustrating for me because I keep thinking, why are we eating things that are making us healthy, and then it's laced with these chemicals that are causing us to have fatty liver, which is causing us to be unhealthy and fatter.
Unbelievable. So what can we do? Is there anything we can do to help our fatty livers? Is it by just losing weight? How do you do it?
So eating organic, certainly going back to organic vegetables and really cleaning your vegetables, appropriately cleaning your vegetables is really key. I would not pull them out of the bag and chop them up and start eating them. You really need to clean them. Organic is better. I think the frustrating thing for people that do have fatty liver is that when they try to lose weight, they had this one Australian study that I found fascinating. It showed that people who had fatty liver in this study had 55% less weight loss than the people who didn't have fatty liver. Can you imagine? You all go on a diet. And 55% less weight loss in the group that had fatty liver, and 35% slower weight loss. Okay, that's just put a gun to my head. You're doing all this work and you're like, why can't I lose any weight? So I think of many people who are listening to this, Why You Get Fat Over 40. I titled this podcast, Why Do You Get Fat Over 40? Because this is one of the reasons. But this is happening to kids. Kids are getting fatty liver. So it's really something that is so important to look at, because it's related to depression, it's related to irritability, abdominal pain, abdominal bloating. I mean, there's other symptoms of fatty liver besides just getting fat.
Why don't we hear more about fatty liver if it's this damaging?
Well, I think doctors and practitioners are starting to kind of get the word out that you need to eat healthier. We need to treat this more aggressively. We need to give you supplementation to fix it. But a lot of times they'll just test, and if the liver enzymes are elevated in the blood, again, I wouldn't wait for that. If you're listening to this show, do not wait for elevated liver enzymes, because that's like down the road. But if you get elevated liver enzymes now, medical practitioners are often just saying, hey, looks like you got fatty liver, probably need to start eating better. But what does that even mean?
Right.
What does that mean? Because most people don't even know, what does that even mean?
Right.
And does that mean eat less? What does that mean? And so all of a sudden, you're eating 6 chicken nuggets instead of like 12 or 20.
Right.
So which I say chicken nuggets because I think they're pretty good. And I used to eat those in college a lot.
Yeah.
And they're awful for you. I mean, talk about just like one of the worst foods for you because it's got that deep fried thing going on, right?
But it's all white meat and it's chicken. It's not good for you, you'd think.
Well, okay, let's just stick with organic white meat. That would be a good step, but not chicken nuggets.
Okay.
Okay. So you and I think you brought me some beet juice at my house in La Quinta one time, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Organic beet juice, fermented beet juice.
Yeah. So beet juice.
Did you like it, by the way?
It's delicious. Yes. And I actually don't really love beets, but beet juice is really good for fatty liver.
Really?
Yeah, because it has a chemical in it called betaine, which is excellent for not only digestion, but for fatty liver. So eating more cabbage, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, all of those green foods, again, wash them well, have them organic. Carrots are really high in beta carotene, which helps stabilize your blood sugar and help with fatty liver. There is one of the best piece of advice I've ever given people that I think works so good is to start every day with the juice of at least 1/2 of a lemon in some warm water. So you get up in the morning, before you have your coffee or anything else that you have in the morning, you have 1 glass or cup of warm water with 1/2 of a lemon or a whole lemon in it. Mm-hmm. This is an excellent liver tonic that can kind of start to go to work to heal some of this.
And I've heard you also put some pepper in that too, right? Or cayenne pepper.
Yeah, cayenne pepper is actually really another tonic for the liver, which is good. Drinking lots of water, getting your fiber content much higher. I would say at least 40 grams of fiber per day is important. Getting enough sleep. I can't even accentuate the importance. And my next show I'm going to do with you, Rusty, for the following week is about how to get your sleep dialed back in with all this stress we have going on in our world. But sleep allows you to have your whole system recover and rejuvenate. So that's top on the list, I think, is getting enough sleep. I recommend a supplement in our office called Liver C. I talked about it last week when I was at the barn. And Liver C supports the liver. It's really one of the best supplements I've ever seen for supporting the liver. It has about 26 different ingredients in it. The most prevalent one in it is called milk thistle, which is a botanical that's very supportive to the liver. So losing weight, drinking lots of water, liver support supplements, beet juice, lemon juice in the morning, really focusing on clean eating. Get all the crap out of your diet. Try to spend 80% of your week eating really good food. Lean proteins, organic vegetables or cleaned vegetables, good fats for your body. Avocados are excellent. Olive oil, the good types of fat that your body knows what to do with it, not the deep fried fats. Those are things that we want to stay away from. And get rid of all the processed foods, things that your body does not know what to do with. And by the way, coffee is an antioxidant.
Okay, so you're drinking healthy by drinking that coffee.
Just don't put a bunch of stuff inside of it.
Okay. And so if you want to go, that Liver C supplement is an excellent one. And if you want to go and get that, go to nishajackson.com. That's nishajackson.com. You can also find out more about Nisha. You also subscribe to the show. Share it with your friends. Let people know whether you're watching on Apple Podcasts or YouTube or Google Podcasts or on Apple TV. I mean, it's all over the place. Basically, you can watch this show at any time, anywhere in the world, on any device. So make it easy for your friends and let them know about Nisha Jackson. You want to wrap it up? You got anything you want to say?
I want you to share it on your Facebook. It's really helpful. I have people email me, text me, call me all the time, or if I see them around, I listened to your show on such and such, and I learned so much about this. It was really like simple to understand. So share it with people, because this is how we get our world healthy and have people get sick less often, is we equip them with the information they need to feel good, look good, be healthy longer.
All right, go
share it.
Share it. Right now, subscribe. We will catch you next time. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Rusty Humphries. She's Nisha Jackson, and this is The Nisha Jackson Show.